All right, welcome to our major awards banquet. 3 times the charm, COVID, global warming, power outage. So here we are, 4 days after the fact. So we've invited some special guests tonight and more, because obviously there's still some athletes here. So we're here to award some of our major athletes. We're going to start with grade 9 Male Athlete of the Year. And Mr. Flays will come up and say a few words for this year's winner.
So, male grade 9 Athlete of the Year. Okay. So this young man, it's pretty impossible to miss in the hallways. He towers above everyone, has dinner plate-sized hands and pontoon boats for shoes. The beard still needs a bit of work, but we're working on that one. He's a multi-sport athlete with an insane amount of natural strength and ability for his age. And for Eastside, he played football, basketball, and track and field. He was a vital part of the younger junior football team with his size, quickness, and athleticism. He was an integral piece of the team's offensive line. With a strong leg and excellent form, he was also the core of the special teams, holding down the role of kicker and punter. In basketball, he was part of the team that won the Bay Quinte Championships. His size certainly had its advantages, but his natural ability was evident on the court as well. His coaches are excited to see what the future will hold for him in basketball, as his potential is limitless. His track and field season was nothing short of spectacular as well. Competing in all the throwing events, javelin, shot put, and discus, each time he stood up to throw, you could visibly see his opponents' heads drop down in defeat every time he stood up. Between Bay of Quinte and Casa, he walked away with 3 golds, 1 silver, a bronze, and a 4th place finish. East Regionals was a miserable day, and most discovered that throwing heavy metal objects in the pouring rain is kind of hard. But for him, pretty light work. He would place in the top 4 in javelin and shot put, qualifying him for the big show in Toronto. At OFSA, he would finish in the top 18 for shot put, and he would put on a show in javelin, claiming Eastside's first ever OFSA track and field medal, with a bronze in his best event. Luckily for him, he had the best coach available to teach him everything he knew. If only he had a father who knew what he was doing. So you're welcome. He'll be a force to reckon with for years to come in every sport he plays in the years to come. I think we can all expect a few more OFSA medals from this young man, but there's no pressure. Congratulations, Aiden Crawford.
All right, so Ms. Miller and I have the privilege of recognizing our 2 grade 9 female athletes of the year.
So we're going to leave you in suspense and let you try and determine who these winners are. I'm going to start. So some key attributes of one of our grade 9 female athletes. This particular athlete is very coachable. She has a strong desire to get better. Do you want a tag team? Do you want to?
Well, that's kind of funny because the person that I'm presenting to also is incredibly coachable, sets goals for herself, and plays always within her role. She's a leader by example, and she's also a hardworking and very, very dedicated athlete.
Okay, that sounds like the person I'm talking about as well. My athlete is a hard worker. She always fights. She's a team player. She is, though, a quiet leader. She leads by example, both on the field and on the court. She has the perseverance to stick with a challenging situation. She learns, she grows, and she develops as a player.
That's interesting, Miss Miller.
Yes.
I feel like maybe you took my paper, because my athlete is also a very quiet leader. She leads by example with her hard work and her perseverance no matter what she's asked. Actually, she picked up a new sport this year and was, kind of recruited to this new sport for her simply because she's an amazing jumper, like amazing. And when asked, to go out on a basketball court and get like 10 rebounds, she'd bring down 12. Like, that's how amazing mine is.
Love it. Okay, well, how about this? So my athlete is a fantastic young lady. She played on several different sports this past year. She took on the key position of scrum half in rugby. She played volleyball, she played soccer, she ran track, and ran cross country.
Well, I have a little track and field story that was shared with me about my athlete. At Babe Quinney, a gold medal in the pole vault and silvers, plural, in triple jump and long jump. At CASA, another silver in triple jump and 4th place in pole vault earned her a berth at East Regionals. In Ottawa, with some very old new shoes, she set a personal best in pole vault in the pouring rain to earn a top 4 and earn a trip to the big show in Toronto. There, with some very old new shoes and random downpours, she matched her personal best to be one of the top 16 grade 9 female pole vaults in our province. An amazing feat. She's a multi-sport athlete on her own time as well, and still made time to come to practice and perfect her craft. She is such a natural talent that as the years go on, she will only get better and stronger.
So coincidentally, my athlete was also on the track team. She had a great season as well. She competed in the 400, the 800, which are apparently very difficult races, and the senior 4x100. She tried her hand at pole vault for the first time. She made it to CASA for every event. Impressive. Placing 3rd in pole vault, enabling her to move on. She battled through an injury, which is a reoccurring story. Actually, the injuries happened as well in cross country. But she battled through this track injury mid-race in the 800, and through all the pain, she just barely advanced. At East Regionals, she battled hard in the rain. Apparently, it was a horrible, horrible day, and she barely missed out qualifying for OFSA. So, as you can see, we are here talking about 2 fantastic, promising grade 9 athletes. You can see from the grit, dedication, determination, these are all key attributes of any athlete. I think it's time, is it, to say congratulations?
I think it's time to say that we are grateful to both of you that you are Ravens, and we look forward to watching you both grow and work hard and shine here at Eastside. So congratulations to
Riley Murray
and Julia Cranshaw.
Come on up.
So first of all, let me just say the number of great athletes that we have in our building right now, it's unbelievable, especially in grade 9 and 10. The future is so bright for athletics here. This gym is the best gym going in probably the province, and I've been in a lot of gyms. And just to be able to be part of it, I'm honored, and I know all the coaches here are honored as well. So let's keep it going. We put a few more banners up on the wall back there, and I know after next year there's going to be a few more. So
This year's Junior Athlete of the Year is someone who has had a season unlike any other that I've seen. I've been coaching high school sports for over 20 years, and I've never seen an individual have such an outstanding season across the board. He started out in football, starting quarterback, MVP, I believe, right, Parcels? And just unbelievable to the point where, he's so good in so many sports. I think people are starting to tell him, well, maybe you should spend a little more time with that sport because you could be really good. Well, when that season ended, it was my turn to coach this young man basketball, and I coach senior basketball, by the way. He's in grade 10. Usually he's on the junior team, so he's on the senior team. And okay, so he's going to ride the pine, right, and work hard in practice? No, he's a starting point guard, which is the hardest position to play, especially with a lot of the systems that I run. And he did such an outstanding job. For a grade 10 to be in there and to show and demonstrate the leadership that he demonstrated in that position with kids 2-3 years older than him. I think the speed and the strength and got to him at first, but it took like a week, and then boom, he was just outstanding. I know I'm going to have him for at least 3 more years on that team, and maybe 2, and I can't wait to keep coaching him. Then bring the spring season. Double athlete, so track and field. Again, one of these sports that he just started doing because he's an athlete, and he went to OFSA to the point where track and field coaches are now saying, maybe you need to spend a little more time with this sport. And what was really neat for me was I have a son in grade 10 as well, and my son and this athlete both got to compete against one another at the regional level, and I could see them talking and looking at me. I don't know what they were talking about, but hopefully it was all good. And then baseball. So baseball is varsity again, so grade 9 to 12. And so grade 10s typically have to wait their turn to be able to get some playing time. Here he is, he's a starter on an OFSA caliber team. Like I said, there has never been anyone that I've witnessed in 20 years of coaching athletics that has had a season like that across the board. Yeah, maybe someone's really awesome in one sport and okay in others. He was amazing in everything that he did this year. So doing his best Magnum PI impression tonight, Ripken, come on up.
Okay, so our Junior Female Athlete of the Year. So this athlete was recently quizzed about why she plays sports, and this is what she said. She said, I play sports because it's fun, and I get to make really great friendships. I play sports to be active and to keep in shape. I play sports to keep my anger out, and of course there was a twinkle in her eye, and she said, that's why I play hockey. When other coaches were asked about this particular athlete, they described her with a few of the following words: competitor, fun-loving, talented, positive, spirited, dedicated, determined, and a team player. Having the opportunity to coach this particular athlete on the junior girls basketball team, I can say without a doubt she was counted on for not just her hard work and her ability to play tough, but also to be a leader to the rest of the team. It didn't matter if we were down, she always had a positive attitude and never gave up. There's a quick soccer story as well here. The team was in Madoc and the game had just started, and this athlete out of nowhere carried the ball down the field and scored top corner. The game was, in the first 2 minutes of the game. In another 20 minutes, the tides had turned in the downpour of rain, and the the Madoc team was up now by 4 goals. So most athletes at this stage of the game are ready to give up. It's pouring rain, we're down. But this particular athlete looked at her coach and smiled and said, I'm ready to go back on and score another goal. So massive determination. This athlete truly personifies the spirit of sportsmanship. She's an amazing team player, a great teammate to others. She leads by example with her hard work and her ability to make others around her smile and to make them feel good about themselves. We really, really look forward to the next 2 years with you as a Raven. So congratulations to the Junior Athlete of the Year, Briseis Hunter.
This is a new award this year. For 15 years, maybe 20, I've had exchange students playing sports in schools. And it goes back to Niels, I forget his last name, he was from Belgium, played rugby and football and basketball at Quinny. And then there was little Felix Rank, a little German basketball player. And when this year's students started playing and became successful, I said, we gotta make an award for these students. So Mr. Crawford will say a few words about this athlete student because he knows her so well.
Yes. Well, first of all, I've actually met a whole bunch of German kids one day at the Casa football final, and I was in charge of running the stick crew, which measures the distance on downs and whatnot, and they were new to the sport, so we had a lot of fun, and we had some good conversations. And while we were having the conversation, they said, "Are you a teacher at this school?" And I said, "Yes, I am a teacher. I know I don't look like one, but I actually am. And I actually teach a course called the hockey course." And they said, "There is a hockey course here at Eastside?" And I said, "Yes, there is." And they said, "Are we allowed to take it?" I said, "Absolutely. I want you people in this class because you are brand new. I can mold you the way I want. No one else has ever had any information with you." So it was a pleasure. By the quadmester that came around when the hockey course, they were ready to go. They couldn't wait to get on the ice. And it got delayed a few days because of the arena. It was closed. Anyways, long story short, we got the class going. They were always at the end of the class, "Mr. Crawford, can we work on something else?" And I'm like, "Sure, what do you want to work on?" So we worked on various aspects because it's a skills-related course. And I started to have a fantastic relationship with this group of 5 individuals from Germany. Each one had their own idiosyncrasies about themselves, and they always wanted to be the best, and they were so kind. And what I really enjoyed about this, having that group of people in our classes, it made our students better people because they got to experience people from a different country and something that they were new at, and they could show them kind of the way. So that was a fantastic memory. The class has been going since 2007, and that was my favorite class ever. So just, you guys did a fantastic job, and you made my day every day when I would go to the rink. While the hockey class would be going on, I'd be kind of poking at them, "Hey, you'd be really good at this. You'd be really good at that for track." And I convinced, I think all 5 started, 3 finished. But that's okay. Some people like to go to sports that they are very familiar with. So I believe Iona played soccer. You play soccer as well? No? You just gave up? I'm not sure. What else did you? Okay, there you go. I can't remember. You kind of fell off the face of the earth, and no big deal, because you were so much fun in the hockey class. And she played for the hockey team, which is an amazing feat. But there's one person there's something special about her. And I got her to try pole vault. and I got her to do javelin because she's a handball player in Germany. Because if you guys don't understand what sports clubs are like, in Europe, you're basically in one sport. That's the sport you choose. You're lucky if you play two. She embraced everything when she came here. She played rugby for the first time. And her coach said, if we had more time with her, she could play her position for Team Ontario. So think about how good she is in that sport, and she's brand new to it. She was also, I believe, voted the best swimmer, even though the team didn't happen because of COVID, but she was, from what I understand, she was fantastic at that. She was also, like I said, she was the most improved in the hockey class, the most improved. That was one of her sports that she wasn't so prominent with, but she still had fun with it. And basically, we got to OFSA. She had won every meet going into it. She won Bay of Quinte, she won CASA, she won East Regionals. And when she got to OFSA, she was ranked third, tied for third. And I was coming from Burlington. She was staying at the hotel with the head coach. And I got a text saying, oh, Greta, she's a mess right now. And I said, okay. I walked over to her and I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. And I said, every time, Greta, what can you control? And then she said to me in her best accent, my speed and my power. And that made me laugh. And we had a little fun with that. And I said, what else can you control? I can control my emotions. And I said, good. Once you control those, you can do well. And if it wasn't for her first attempt that day, we'd actually be talking about her as the second medal winner. She attempted her last jump, which would have obliterated the school record. She went up, she went over, she brushed the bar a little bit, it bounced a little bit, she's on the mat, she's standing up, it's still there, and unfortunately it fell. And that brought her back down to fourth place. She actually tied for third at OFSA. For someone who's only been doing it for 6 weeks, she has a bright future in track or any sport that she wants. And what I want to tell you, the most impressive thing is, I had the dream when I was a kid in high school to go to Germany with the LAR exchange program to actually experience that. I never got to. She got to kind of live my dream, and I was so glad to be part of it. So Greta Schwartz, congratulations, our first ever International Student Award.
All right, this next award is the Canon Manderville Scholastic Award, presented to 2 students this year that work hard in the classroom and in sport, so excel in academics and athletics. And we have a male recipient and a female recipient, and I have the honor of awarding them both the award today. So I'll start with the male. I actually met this young man when I was teaching him biology last year on a placement, and I remember thinking specifically about him, wow, like this guy is awesome. He's gonna have a really, really awesome future. I can't wait to see what he does. And throughout the year, I see him in the hallways all the time, and he's one of those kids that you're just so excited to see, because he always has a smile on his face. He's making people laugh, and he's just really contributing positively to you know, the school atmosphere. I've actually never coached him. I've been around him when he's been in the gym. So I had to do a good survey of his coaches and teachers before I made this speech. I actually emailed Mr. Botterill and I said, you know, we're thinking about, you know, giving this student this award. What do you have to say about him? And he goes, great choice, great kid. That was the response I got. And that was kind of the theme. Every time I talked to somebody about him, they would just say, you know, he's just awesome. And so I'm like, I think we picked the right kid for this award. Inside of the classroom, he's a leader. He's welcoming to all students regardless of their background. He has a really positive attitude that he brings with him everywhere he goes, and people just want to be around him. He excels with extremely high grades, but also an enthusiasm for learning that any teacher would want in their class. He's always looking to improve and to help others. Outside of the books, he's actually an entrepreneur that's built his own company. Don't know if anyone's heard of it, but it's pretty impressive stuff, and he spends a lot of his time going around town delivering orders. And he's actually headed to the University of Toronto next year to study commerce. So, in sports, his coaches say really awesome things as well. He actually tried badminton for the first time with my brother, and I was there at a couple of the practices. And he quickly transformed from a quote-unquote less than impressive backyard rallier to an intimidating threat on the court. Whether it be learning a new technique or cracking jokes to make junior players feel welcome, you can always count on him to do the right thing. Day in and day out, he always puts his best foot forward, a major reason why he won the coach's award for the badminton team. He also mastered Mr. Wilson's towel trick and was apparently successful in psyching out 3 or more opponents this year just with the towel. And if you haven't heard about the towel trick, it's a fun one. In his main sport of baseball, he's known as a utility player, infield, outfield, pitcher. He does them all very well. I was actually in a baseball tournament this weekend, and the fact that he can do all 3 really impresses me. He was a large contributor to the ESS baseball team who went all the way to OFSA this year. He's a really well-rounded athlete that can pick up anything, and he's loved by his teammates and coaches. And he's a pretty funny guy. So overall, well-rounded guy. The 2022 male recipient of the Ken Manderville Scholastic Award is Miles Ramsey. Should I just wait and do the other one? All right. On to the female recipient. I know this girl pretty well. She displays excellence in all aspects of her time at Eastside, and I'm gonna miss her a lot. I also met her in the same biology class that Miles was in, which is really funny. It was a really cool class, I have to say. I had a good time. And last year, I don't think I really understood her sense of humor until I coached her twice this year. And if anyone doesn't know her, a little disclaimer, if you're not sure whether she's being serious, she never is. And I kind of had to figure that out away, but it's always a joke, even if she has a really straight face. Anyways, in the classroom, she's super hardworking and diligent. She's a great student and classmate, always looking out for her peers. She excelled in the sciences, and she's headed to Queen's University this fall to study kinesiology. Following in my footsteps, I don't know. As an athlete, her advantage is her speed. She made OFSA appearances for both the 100-meter and pole vault during her time at Eastside. She also took on a leadership this role as a track and field coach for younger students. Her easygoing and positive approach led to success in a lot of our junior track athletes and led to her winning the Spirit Award. Her Swedish roots are strong. She warned me she might get heat stroke at our 14 degrees and rainy soccer game. I was wearing like 5 sweaters. But then a couple days later at a track meet, it was about 18 out, a little bit warmer. She actually did get heat stroke. Couldn't even come to school the next day. So we thought, fair enough. I had the pleasure of coaching her in volleyball and soccer, and I can say she's one of those players that you always want on your team because she just makes it fun. She's dedicated. The only practice she missed was when she had heat stroke, and also the day after she got her wisdom teeth out, so fair enough. When she quote unquote looked like Alvin and the Chipmunks. And she also told her orthodontist to stick it when he tried to book an appointment on the same day as her game, which I thought was hilarious. She's very coachable and she always wants to learn and improve her skills, whether it's dribbling in soccer or serving in volleyball. She'll always work her butt off to master her craft. But overall, I'd say the best part about her is she's just fun to be around. She'll always lighten the mood, even if it's chirping me or chirping the other Wilson. She'll always make people laugh. Something that I told both of our teams this year is, like, if you're gonna miss a practice, if you're gonna miss a game, you have to send me an email. And like, she would always tell us, you know, the day before, you know, I'm not gonna be here. And I'd say, no, send me an email. I'm gonna forget. And then I'm gonna be like, where are you? So just to get a flavor of her humor, these are some of the subject lines I received this year. So we have the stupid sun. That was the heat stroke one. Confusion. I woke up old today, and blame it on the wisdom teeth. So I really hope that in the future she sends me more emails, more comedic emails to update me on her well-being, because they really made my day. And I'm really excited to see what awesome things she does in the future. I'm gonna miss her a lot. I'd like to congratulate the female recipient of the Ken Manderville Scholastic Award, Alex Finlater.
Okay, so I'm here to give out the Raven Pride Character Awards, probably one of my favorite awards to present, simply because it gets to honor student athletes that give of themselves not just you know, within the building, but also carry themselves so respectfully and responsibly outside of the classroom. And so these two recipients, I say, definitely personify these characteristics for sure. And they will be sadly missed, as they're not returning to Eastside. But it's been an honor, really, to be you know, able to watch these two go through their time here at Eastside with smiles on their faces. You know, I can remember coaching both of them at various times, whether it was in Little Hoops years ago or on the basketball team. And both of them are so grateful. I would say one of their gratitude is something that can be hard to come by these days. And both of these athletes were truly grateful. They would come and thank their coaches and thank the people around them for the experiences. They would hold the door open in the hallway for teachers and other students and really bring out the best of those around. So it's really great to be able to honor student athletes that have these characteristics. And when I look at some of the names that are on this award, they really, really are people that I will never forget. So, you know, when you have that kind of impact on your teachers and your coaches, that means something big. And so in surveying different teachers and coaches around the school about these two particular athletes, it was pretty much a hands down easy decision for all that the recipients for this year's Raven Pride Character Award goes to Holly Morton and Patrick Clark.
So, I guess I'm up for the Senior Male Athlete of the Year. I've known this kid since grade 9. I think he's about the same height now as he was in grade 9, height-wise, but he's gone this way now and has worked really, really hard off the field to excel in football, basketball, and baseball. And he dabbled in a little bit of track this year, if I'm not mistaken. So in football, I know senior coaches will say that's an 0-4 season if it wasn't for our quarterback this year. Total game changer when he switched to quarterback after game 1 or 2, and tough to take down, tough to tackle, led the team to the Bay Quinte finalist and a CASA finalist. Fantastic athlete on the football field. Basketball, I remember we didn't get to watch any games this year. And then when we were allowed in the gym, I saw the first game of the year against Picton, and this guy couldn't compare to anyone on Picton. He totally dominated, was up and down the court, snagging rebounds, getting free layups. Totally the best athlete on the floor, and happened to win best defender. And then spring season, it's baseball, and I know that's his sport and that's his dream to play baseball. And in grade 9, they had a good team, and Mr. Thurtle and Mr. Gray said, they're really good. There's a whole bunch of grade 9s. And then they missed their COVID year and the following year, and all of a sudden they're in grade 12, and Mr. Thurtle and Mr. Gray says, I can't do baseball this year. And I said, all right, I'll do it. These guys got to play. I've heard so much about them. And lo and behold, we're in OFSA. And everyone's telling me, we knew you guys were good. The Picton coach, Matt Ronan, says, we knew you were good in grade 9, where they went to CASA almost, but now they're in grade 12. So we went above and beyond that, obviously, as grade 12s. And all I can remember is every time we had a big inning and scored runs, Trent would be the spark, and then Maddox would walk up and pour gas on the fire. And I remember the triple he hit in CASA when he slid into third base, and he was absolutely pumped. He did the big flex and the big scream, and he said, he's our athlete of the year, obviously. There is no question, no doubt, because he worked so hard off the field, physically, to get himself better. And if we had every athlete with that mentality here, we'd be even more dominant school. So, Maddox, come on up, your senior male athlete of the year.
All right, I think this is the last one, eh? All right, Senior Female Athlete of the Year. I'm super honored that I get to present this. It's kind of a full circle moment because I was here one day getting it. So this is kind of cool. I just want to give a big shout out. I coached a lot of senior girls sports this year, and we had a really awesome group, and it was a pleasure to coach all the grade 11s and 12s this year. And I think our graduating athletes are going to do really awesome things, and I hope that you all find a way to stay involved in sport however you can, because sports are awesome, athletics are awesome, and you know, they're just fun. Anyways, okay, our Senior Female Athlete of the Year. She's a dedicated, hardworking, responsible leader. She never backs down from a challenge, and she'll do whatever it takes to compete at the highest level possible. She is very organized and diligent to tasks on and off the field, ice, and court. In fact, I actually saw her at No Frills one day, and I took a look at her shopping cart, and I was really impressed with the amount of spinach and Greek yogurt that was in there, just taking care of her body. She's a consistent athletic presence, competing in fall, winter, and spring seasons, in basketball, hockey, going to OFSA, soccer, volleyball, and trying lacrosse for the first time this year, picking it up really quick and being named the senior MVP of the team. She's a coach's dream. She always understands what you need done, and she'll take on any role you ask her to do, no matter what, and she'll do it well. Even if you ask her to play center mid at the end of a soccer game and she's been on the whole time and she's exhausted, she'll do it. Or if it's taking on managing the girls' hockey team, running the Google Classroom, making sure everyone's at the games, she'll do it, and she'll do it well. She's a natural leader. Her quiet confidence, drive, and spirit makes her teammates respect her and look up to her. She was the captain of the senior girls soccer and varsity girls hockey teams and could always be counted on to provide insight and advice to her coaches and teammates. I remember when other Miss Wilson and I were coaching soccer, it was our very first practice, and we were just kind of watching everybody thinking, oh, I wonder who should be our captain at the game tomorrow. We both looked at each other, we're like, Haley, right? Because it was just so obvious that everyone looked up to her and everybody really respected what she had to say. And the other great thing about her is her analytical skills when it comes to coin tosses is really unmatched. She always knows which way the wind is blowing, where the sun is setting, and remarkably, if it's going to be heads or tails. I think she had like a 90% win on coin tosses. It was ridiculous. Finally, the most important part of her genetic makeup is her intestinal fortitude. I think every coach here would agree that she's one of those players that you can always count on to get the job done. No excuses, no complaints. She's the player that you want out in the final minutes of the game because she's going to give it her all. She wants to win, and she'll do anything it takes to do that. If there's anyone that's going to walk onto a team at Queen's University this fall, it will be her because she's not going to take no for an answer. Without further ado, and if you haven't guessed yet, I might have said her name, the Senior Female Athlete of the Year for Eastside is Haley Robinson.
Video. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Take some photos up there.